we are deeply saddened by the passing away of Mr. Wafula Chebukati, who was our chair of IBC. As a country, we know that Mr. Wafula Chebukati did his job with utmost integrity, commitment, courage, and we condole with his family, with his close relatives, with his friends, with colleagues that worked with him, and with our nation as large. We know that being an IBC chair is the most difficult job in this country, the most feared and the most difficult jobs. Over the years, because of heavily critical, agitated, sometimes political actors, when we lose elections, because of the pain of losing an election and the energy we invest in elections, in most cases people end up pouring their entire anger on one individual. And it is a most painful and difficult thing to think about. One individual, as though he was the clerical officer at the local level, he was an election observer, he was the one who was transmitting the results and so forth. People also forget that these results are subjected to constitutional processes, and in most cases, in all the cases anyway, they have been confirmed by the Supreme Court. And even where it's not confirmed by the Supreme Court, like the 2017, subsequently it was confirmed by the Supreme Court. We wish his family well, his children, may his memory continue living with us. Unfortunately, you know, there are people who have in social media and in a country that enjoys this level of democracy, you'll find people who are very callous in their comments about individuals. Unfortunately, we condemn such acts as a country. There is no one who will not eventually rest, those who hold office and those who don't. And fear of death is not the reason why you should make the right decision. And I think he made the right decision even when his life was in danger. And I don't think of another person I could eulogize as a person who watched through the elections, and especially in Bomas of Kenya. Chebukati deserves our great memory, and the next IBC chair should have the courage that he had to continue making decisions with a lot of courage and patriotism. Because we say there will be no extra vetting, or we are compromising security and we are engaging in political act. We are not in any way. We are a ministry that is extremely responsible for the security of this country, and we cannot play with the security of this country. We are also responsible in ensuring that Kenyans enjoy rights equally without undue discrimination. And I want to assure you here that the fact that we removed the extra vetting does not mean that we have compromised on security. We will never, ever compromise on the security of the country. What has happened is that the processes that we are going to apply now in terms of identifying who has got an ID, who has not got, is to leverage on the existing data across the board to establish who you are. You can't just wake up at some point and at 18 you discover that you need an ID. We have your information since you went to school. We have your information when you go for services. We have the information of your family. We have your family tree across the board. So you can't just come back and say, I want to be a citizen. We will see who is your father, who is your mother, who is your sister, who is your uncle. So technology will have helped us to achieve this thing. Number two, I want to dissuade all Kenyans that think about this as about Northeastern and our border with Somalia. All our minds think that this policy was applying to one corner of the country. Far from it. It's not true. It is applying to all corners of the country, from our border to Tanzania in Hispania all the way to Kwale, Lunga, to our border in Turkana with both South Sudan and Uganda, to our border with Ethiopia, and then to Somalia. There is nothing here sinister about one corner of the country, and I want to give you the confidence that this does not mean that we are going to compromise on the security of our country. As a ministry, we have been here for the last 2 days. Our objective was to take stock, especially programs and projects that have been undertaken for the last 2.5 years nearly 2.5 years, which is really a mid-term review of the performance of this government, particularly this ministry. And we have had a very robust engagement, listening to the various officers who are serving in different departments in the Interior National Administration. That includes the 3 state departments, which is the State Department of Internal Security, the State Department of Correctional Services, and the State Department of Citizen Services and Immigration. And from all these 3 departments, we have noticed that we have made really tremendous progress, especially if you think about digitization of government services. We have digitized over 20,000 services across ministries, and that service is being coordinated from the Ministry of Interior. We have also made great progress in making sure that services are delivered expeditiously. As you very well know now, you apply for your passport, you can get it within 3 days. And if you apply for between 3 and 7 days, you will have got your passport. And if you apply for ID, we have reduced the time to from 1 month to at most 10 days. And that is really a great progress. As you very well know, 2.5 years ago, Nyayo House was congested with Kenyans coming and complaining about their inability to get a passport, their inability to get their travel documents on time or national identity documents. We have also made great progress in digitizing these services and taking these services closer to the people. In various parts of the country, we have enhanced the Huduma centers across the country. We have also digitized these services. So it's very easy now to apply your ID from the comfort of your constituency, and all the documentation is sent directly to the National Center in Nairobi, and you get your ID in good time. That is really tremendous and good progress. Customer service has been enhanced and so forth. If you think about our correctional services, a lot of work is going on, and you'll be seeing rolling out of digitization of the records of the prisons, and also improvement of facilities with working together with the Housing Ministry. We have a huge program that makes sure that we ensure that housing is, as a program, it benefits our prison officers. And we have also a program of rebuilding our prisons, moving those that are around towns to outside town. This is we have a policy framework that we are taking to cabinet, and that will be a plan, a long-term plan for exchanging land from urban areas to areas conducive for us to have the prisons. We also have very robust plans to make sure that our prisons can generate resources for running their services. That includes mechanization of our farms. It also includes working together in PPP programs to develop as much as possible the land that we have, to make sure that it is giving us proper resources. From the Interior Department, a lot of work has been done in ensuring that the National Police Service gets relevant equipment, improving the welfare of the staff. For the last 2 years, a lot of work has been done in that sector. We are now moving to, and some work, a good amount of work has been done to acquire more vehicles, and the progress, we have a very good progress in ensuring that is achieved. And we also have from the Interior Department a very robust plan to make sure that these new vehicles are given to our police officers, and this is a cross-cutting within the ministry. Includes the police, it includes the prisons, it includes also national administration, national government officers, administration officers who are serving a different cadre. We have various policies and legislation that is including benevolent fund and veteran bill that is going to assist those officers who we lose them in the line of duty, to make sure that their families are looked after, and those who get injured and who also find themselves in a situation of disability, that they are supported because of the sacrifice they have made in our country. There are so many other legal issues that we are putting together to make sure that the ministry is functioning as it should. various agencies, IPOA, National Police Commission. We have the other agencies, including Public Benefits Organization, firearm licensing, that a lot of work is going on. This retreat was called because we were preparing ourselves for a midterm review by the entire government. And His Excellency the President is going to be convening the Cabinet and the PSS in the near future to have this overall review of our performance in the last 2.5 years. What I want to promise the people of Kenya is that we will be judged by the manifesto that we sold to the people of Kenya. And we are confident that at the moment our manifesto objectives have been achieved more than 50%, yet we are 50% of the time. And we will be way ahead of time in delivering. And as you can see, we are working with the Office of the President, represented here, on matters of government delivery to make sure that we are always auditing our performance, not waiting until campaign to go and tell Kenyans what's going on and what we have done. And soon you will see our report card. We will be sharing our report card to the people of Kenya in terms of the progress we have made in this sector.